Alright guys, welcome back to Becoming the Best Self. I'm Jess and we're going to talk about self-sabotage. So, it is July 8th and for the month of July we are actually going to be going into a self-sabotage series. We're going to talk about what self-sabotage is, why we self-sabotage our lives, if we self-sabotage our lives, how to stop self-sabotage, and so much more. So stay tuned. Most of these videos are going to be pretty short. They're going to correspond to blog posts and some podcasts. But today, in true Becoming the Best Self form, we have got to talk about what self-sabotage is to learn how to stop it. So today's topic: what is self-sabotage? So self-sabotage is more of a behavior than anything else. So defined, at least by us, we're going to say that self-sabotage is anything that you or I do that directly sabotages our life. So this can be, it might stop our goals or hinder our personal development or self-growth. It could influence or halt our work or our work situation, or it could sabotage our relationships with a significant other or other people in general. Self-sabotage is really anything that stops you from being your best self. So the website Psychology Today says that self-sabotage behavior includes procrastination, drug abuse, indulgent eating, and some self-injury and self-harm as examples of these behaviors. We are going to look at self-sabotage on more of an internal basis and how our thoughts are controlling all of our actions and what we're doing, and how really our self-sabotage starts with our mind. So one of the big things about self-sabotage is the fact that self-sabotaging doesn't just limit our success in life, it actually limits our happiness and our ability to be happy, and we don't want that. So like I said, self-sabotaging actions and behaviors starts with our mind, right? We don't do anything that doesn't first start as a thought, even if it's subconscious. We might not actively think that what we're doing is going to negatively impact us, even though sometimes we do, we recognize it and we still do it. Majority of the time, we are doing things that we are subconsciously thinking, and we're just doing them. And this self-sabotage comes into play because when we allow our thoughts to just run free and do this self-sabotaging, and we don't actively stop and say, hey, no, we don't need to do this. This is not going to benefit our lives. It's going to hinder us. We are sabotaging everything that we are meant to be. And so I want you just to get a prime example of this. Think about it this way. We have exterior happiness and interior happiness, right? So our happiness ultimately comes from within, and I think we all know that. If you are not in the right headspace and you are not mentally healthy, and anything of that sort, you're not going to really thrive with happiness. And so for a prime example, have you ever, I have this on my blog post and I'm kind of going line by line with it because I don't want to leave out any information. But have you ever seen somebody who may not be in the best situation, may not have their life figured out, but they are positive, and you can just tell they're happy and they're right where they need to be at this moment. And you can tell that they are happy even though their life isn't all together. But then on the flip side, have you ever seen anybody who seems like they have everything they could have ever wanted? They have money out of the wazoo. They get everything without even having to ask, and they're miserable. They are just literally miserable people. That is the number one example of how happiness can't be bought. You cannot purchase an actual happy life. So we need to focus on our thoughts. We need to change our mindset. We need to make sure that inside we are good and we are happy and we are healthy internally. So that's today's focus on self-sabotage, changing the mindset to get out of self-sabotaging lifestyle. So we're going to keep it short and sweet. I just have 3 quick tips that I want to give you on changing your mindset. Number 1, recognize your thoughts. The very first step in changing your mindset is to know exactly where your mindset is. So just like everything else, we have to know where we stand with our thoughts to be able to process them and change them. One way, if you are not very self-aware, one way I like to do this is something that I've mentioned plenty of times before, journal. Keep a journal of your thoughts. You can set a reminder on your phone. You can keep a journal that you write in, or you can add it to your notes section on your phone. There's no excuse not to do it, because I promise you have the access to keep a journal. And maybe you want to set timers throughout your day to pause and really think about, okay, what's going on in my mind right now? Or if you have a big project coming up and you're working on it, stop and think, okay, what am I really doing right now? What am I focused on, and what do I need to be focused on? Do these line up or do they not? And if they don't, we need to work on lining them up, which ties into having a positive mentality. If you are realizing that your thoughts are negative, you need to work on changing them to positive, but you can't do that until you do know that they are negative. And that's where this journal and note-taking comes into play, because if you look back on your day or your week, you'll be able to look at, okay, the majority of my thoughts were negative. What can I do tomorrow or next week that's going to change this? How can I stop these thoughts before they become actions? I'm telling you, a journal is going to help you. I don't know why more people don't keep a journal. I'm recommending it. Go get one, or grab some paper beside you, or keep a little note in your phone. Just make sure you are self-aware of what you are thinking. Moving into tip number 2. Stop your negative thoughts in their tracks. So before they even become an action, before you even do anything with that negative thought, stop it. This is another one on knowing your thoughts, right? So you have to have that first step to be able to progress to this step. You have to know what you're thinking to be able to stop your thoughts in their tracks. So the example I use on our blog post with this is not wanting to work out. So I have worked out for a very long time and I still lose motivation. If you don't work out, you might have no motivation to do so anyways. But here's the thing. When you lose that motivation, it's so easy to say, you know what, I don't want to work out today. I'm going to go home after work. Or I don't want to get up this morning. I'm going to sleep in and work out this afternoon. And then the afternoon comes and you're like, no, I'll be fine. And first of all, that lack of working out, that lack of health is already self-sabotage in itself. But these negative thoughts are self-sabotage too. Telling yourself that it's not going to benefit you. It's not going to help you. You don't need to do it. You don't need to stick to that routine. That's all self-sabotage. So if when you realize, okay, I don't want to go work out, you pause and you think, you know what? I'm going to feel really good after I work out. I'm going to get a reward after I work out. I am going to be able to have a bomb protein shake after I work out. Stuff like that. When you're taking that negative thought and adding 5, 6, 7, even just 2 positive thoughts to counteract it, it's going to help you in that mindset shift. So before that negative thought even gets the ability to become an action, stop it in its tracks. And number 3, reward yourself for positivity. So if you think about how we learned growing up, or how we teach kids to do things that we want to do, we reward them. Even if it's just saying, hey, good job, buddy. We reward them for their good behavior. We're no more complex than that, guys. Like, even as grown adults, we are that simple. When we reward ourselves or others reward us for what we're doing, regardless of what it is, we're going to want to keep doing that. So if you reward yourself for being positive, you're going to want to keep being positive. If you reward yourself for the positive things you're doing in your life, you're going to want to keep doing those things. So if you want to start a new habit, reward yourself when you do the said habit 3 days in a row. If you want to reach a new goal, reward yourself every step of the way. When you track out how you want to get from point A to point B, when you get to point B, have a reward for that. It's okay to tell yourself you're doing a good job. At the end of the day, stop overcomplicating your happiness. Stop thinking you don't deserve to be happy. Stop telling yourself you don't deserve happiness. You do. You can be happy. Stop overcomplicating it. And start changing your mindset so that you don't self-sabotage. Simple as that. But okay, I know that it's really not that simple and that this is going to take a little bit of work, which is why we are taking the whole month. Hey, he's talking to some people. Yeah? What do you see? This is why we are taking the whole month to talk about self-sabotage. I want to get into the details of it and give you all the ways that you can stop self-sabotaging, recognize self-sabotaging behavior, and ultimately grow from it, because that's what we're about. So that's all we got for today. stay tuned. We're going to be jam-packed this month, so head over to Becoming the Best Self so you can stay up to date. I'm going to put our email down below so that you can make sure that you are subscribed to our email list so that you don't miss any updates on when we post a new post, video, or podcast on self-sabotaging. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. I think that's it. I hope you are doing amazing. I am sending you so much love and so many good vibes. Until next time, peace out, Girl Scouts.